Okay, this is a 2019 Jeep Renegade touchscreen. The problem with this screen is half of it turns on, half of it is black, but the touch screen function still works. So we're going to replace the screen. You will need a T9 bit, and first we're going to remove 8 screws, 2 on the side, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, and another 2 on the right side. We're going to remove them using a T9 bit. This is the last one, number 8. After you remove those 8, now we have to remove another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. These screws all use the same bit, T9. I'm separating them into Ziploc bags just so I don't mix them up. I'm going to remove the last one from the back here. So we have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 that came from up here. And then we have 3 shorter ones. We're going to do 3 shorter ones this size. We're going to keep them separate. Those are the 2 in the back over here, and this one right here by this connector. Okay, I just removed the 3 short ones, 1, 2, 3, and that will allow this whole unit to come loose. Got a little seal back here. Just cut that. Okay. Once that unit is loose, now we gotta disconnect this fan right here. You're gonna disconnect this fan. Here's the switch for the connector for the fan. And we're gonna remove this whole unit by removing these other screws right here. There's 1, 2 screws to remove. Okay, so we're going to disconnect the fan. I'm just going to push in the locking mechanism with a blade here. That comes right off. Now we got to disconnect this computer board. 2 screws right here, T9, same one. I took out the 2 screws from here from the computer board, and that should wiggle right off. There's a connector back here that comes undone. You just gotta wiggle it off. There we go. So that connector is right here. Once we have that piece off, now we gotta take the next cover off, which is this aluminum cover, and it's being held by 1, 2, 3 more T9 screws. And there's actually 1 more right here. Okay, once we have those 5 screws off, last one right here, we're going to disconnect this piece, and there's another connection right here that I just got to wiggle it off. There's a connector right there. That's the connector. Now we have 2 ribbon connections. These 2 plastic pieces right there. You just gotta That's what holds the screen in. These are both going to the screen. So we pop that plastic up, just fold it up, and we just take that connection out. Do the same thing with the other one, fold it up, take that connection out. Be careful with these things, they're just plastic. And then we pull up on this board. We got one more cable right over here. See if we can remove that. So there's a cable right here on this model, and that just presses in. So all you got to really do is get underneath there and pop that right out like that. Okay, so disconnecting that cable isn't really doing much. That cable goes underneath that board, and I can't take this board out for some reason. I don't want to mess with it, but this other cable that also comes from underneath the board is hooked to this little plastic tab, and that's just glued on there with glue or silicone. So all I'm doing is I'm cutting through that so that this tab comes off. It's just glued to the plastic frame. Okay, so we were able to just cut through it, cut through the tape. When I put it back together, I'll just throw some silicone or tape on there and glue it back. And now we got to do the same thing. We finally got to the screen. This is the screen. Here is your serial number. You just got to make sure when you're shopping for your new screen, you get a serial number that matches that, or that's compatible with that. I can't really focus the camera in there that good. Anyways, now this screen is glued to this plastic frame, also with silicone. So we're just gonna have to go along the edge here and cut out the glue. So I'm not going to cut through this because we just found it on Amazon with the bracket for $20 more than what it costs without the bracket, but I just don't want to go through the hassle of having to cut here and then buy silicone, which is going to be around $10 for the tube of silicone. But that's how you get to the touchscreen.